Welcome back. We've discussed, the markup procedure from the distributor taking the goods that they've purchased from the producer and selling on to the consumer. And we've looked at the idea of a cost being what that distributor pays. The selling price is what they pass on to the consumer, what the consumer pays. And the markup, of course, is that amount that the distributor adds to it to cover their own expenses and, of course, make a profit. Well, the other side of that idea of a markup is something called a markdown. And a markdown is reducing the price of an object either at the distributor level between before it's sold on or at the retail level, but either way it reduces the price of the goods in order to stimulate a sale. Whether it could be a sale, could be out of season, could be out of style, could be the new style coming out that's going to replace it. All sorts of reasons why that might be marked down. And this markdown works on the same concept as a trade discount from earlier on, that producer to distributor link. So let's say we have a 30% markdown. So that 30% markdown, if we remember, the full price is 100%. We're subtracting from that a markdown. In this case, we're subtracting 30% markdown. The new price, or reduced price, is going to be 100 minus 30, or 70%. So let's say that we have an object, an item that is a full price, regular price, of $80, and it's going to undergo a 30% markdown. So what we're going to use is the fact that that is 100% was full price minus the 30%, which is going to give us a 70%. We will take that regular price of $80 times 70% is going to be turned into a rate of 0.7, gives us that new or reduced price is $56. Now we can have multiple discounts. We might have, let's say regular price let's just go $60 to keep it simple. And let's say we have an out-of-season discount of 40%. And let's say there's an additional clearance discount of 25%. Now, just like with trade discounts, these are not concurrent. They don't happen at the same time. They happen one after the other. We take the 40%, then we take 25% of what's left. And the easiest way to work that is to use those complements. 100% minus 40% leaves us with 60% that's going to be paid after that first discount. Make that a decimal of 0.6 or 0.60. For the 25%, we do 100% minus 25% leaves us with 75% of the remaining amount paid after the second discount. That turns into a decimal or a rate of 0.750. And to find our final price, we take the regular price of $60 times those two rates. So 60 times 0.60 times 0.75 is $27. So that would cost $27 after those two discounts. Let's do one more example of a chain discount like that. Let's say we have a regular price of $150 on an item. And again, we might have discounts, might be out of season, so maybe there's a 30% discount for out of season. And now the new model's coming out for the next season, so they might take an additional 20%. Now again, that's not going to be 50%. It's 20% first, followed by, 30% first, followed by the 20%. So we look at their complements. The complement of 30, 100 minus 30 is 70%. So that'll be a 0.70. Same for 20. I'm not going to write it out, but 100 minus 20 is 80%. That's 0.80. So we take our regular price of $150 times those two complements. So 150 times 0.7 times 0.8, we get $84. Well, sometimes an object will sit there long enough, it might come back into season, so the price might be increased again to account for that back in season. So let's take a look. Let's have an object that is regular price of, well, let's make this simple. Let's just go $200. And I'm not going to call it markdowns or discounts, so I'm going to call it price adjustments. And let's say this is going to go through a few price, let's go 4 price adjustments. Let's say it has a 20% discount because it's getting late in the season. It goes out of season, so let's go with a full 30% discount. Well, it either stays on the shelf or in the warehouse long enough that it comes back into season. So it's a 25% markup again. So it goes back up because now it's back in season. Maybe it's winter boots or winter coat or something like that. And then let's say that the new product line comes out. So 10% discount or 10% markdown to reduce that price again so that we can get it off the shelf and make room for the new product line. So 20% discount, again, that's going to be 100 minus 20% is 80%. So we're going to use 0.8 for that, 0.80. Same for 30%. 100 minus 30 would be 70%. That's 0.7. Now this one here, it's a mark up, 25% mark up. So it's 100% plus 25% is 125%. As a decimal or a rate, that's 1.25. Then the 10% discount, we're back to 100%. Minus 10% is 90%, so that is 0.9. So we take our original price of $200, and we're going to go times 0.8, times 0.7, then for the markup times 1.25, and then times 0.9 for that final markdown. It gives us a final price of $126. So that is the process of markdowns or discounts or markups. You generally directly before it goes to the consumer to get it off the shelf in some sort of a retail store.